Hello and welcome to the October edition of MC Sports Presents. We have a jam-packed show for you. It's the middle of October, a sports fan's favorite time to be alive. We got MLB World Series starting this week, NHL's up and running, NBA starts in 2 days, and NFL hitting about near the middle of the season. We have a great cast of panelists for you. We have Lev Miller, Gary O'Hare, Casey Hornbeek, and of course my man and co-host CJ Rouleau. We will start with the MLB. It starts up on Tuesday, the Fall Classic. It is the Astros and the Nationals. We all know the Nationals coming back from the brink in the DS, a Howie Kendrick grand slam in the 10th inning. So they beat the Dodgers and then go on to sweep the Cardinals. So we have the Nationals, and then me as a Yankees fan, this one hurts. But the Astros move on past the Yankees on an Altuve two-run walk-off home run. Gary, let's start with you. Astros, Nationals, who you got?
I have Astros in 6 games.
Thank you for that, Casey.
You know, I think the Nats are going to win in 7. And you may think I'm crazy for this because, the Astros have an amazing pitchers of Zach Greinke, Justin Verlander, and Garrett Cole. However, the Nats beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers were insanely good this year. I believe the Nats can do it, and they can pull off this crazy upset. First, the Astros has to be 7 games. They're not going to be able to do anything else. If the Nats can beat the Dodgers, why not? They can carry this hot streak over to the Astros, win the World Series.
Casey, wow, you're taking the Nats over the best team in baseball.
Yes, sir.
Lev, you're not as much of a baseball fan, more of a hockey guy, but what are your thoughts?
I gotta say, Astros in 7. I think this is gonna be a great series. Pitching-wise, it's gonna be incredible. We got Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin, Sanchez versus Verlander, Cole, and Greinke. That's gonna be unbelievable for a sports fan to watch. Anybody who likes the MLB, doesn't matter who you're rooting for, it'll still be a great bunch of baseball. But yeah, I gotta say, with this great offense that Astros have, I think they will be tested, but I think they're good enough to beat the Nats. And I know the Nats are very good, but I think the Astros got it.
Okay, CJ, you're the big baseball fan. You play yourself.
Oh, still.
Fall Classic.
We're actually going up to our Fall World Series ourselves, actually. I've got the Nats in 5, and I know that Kiran, of course, before the show, he was looking at me like, you got them in 5? And the pitching is the focus, but here's the thing. Everyone knows Verlander's good. Everyone knows Garrett Cole's good. Everyone knows Greinke's good. And honestly, the Greinke pickup is probably the best pickup.
Who's going to lose, Cole or Verlander?
It's probably going to be Verlander. I'm going to be honest.
Wow.
I'm just going to say.
Verlander versus Strasburg is game 2. Cole has been announced game 1 starter.
Yeah.
You think
so
Strasburg's going to be...
Here's the thing. Scherzer's probably going to lose to Cole. Verlander's going to lose to Strasburg.
So you're telling me
Corbin
now,
is gonna
Astros win game 1, Nats win out.
Yes.
My goodness, CJ. I'm going to go...
No cap right there. No cap.
This kid's tripping at me.
I know. I don't know what that is.
I think it's 7's the only reasonable thing.
I'm going to take the Astros. Let's be honest. They're the best team in baseball. They have an electric offense, as we saw against the Yankees. Both teams in this series have the same flaw, though. The bullpen. Neither bullpen has been great this postseason. I think that's the X factor. But I have the Stros in 6. Bregman taking home the MVP hardware. Moving on, we are 2 days away from the NBA. Casey, MVP, who you got?
MVP of the whole season, I gotta go with Paul George. Paul George, him and Kawhi Leonard hooking up in LA is just insane. I think Paul George's gonna have a crazy season. He's had some solid seasons in the last couple seasons, but this year he's really gonna peak his prime, and I really think he'll win MVP and lead this Clippers team to a deep run in the playoffs.
Lev, who you got?
I got Giannis just because it's Giannis. He's so good. We've seen in basically all aspects of the game. He's on a Bucks team that I think will make it to the finals. Do I think they're going to win in the finals? No. But do I think they will do well in the playoffs? Yes.
CJ.
It's the boy from Oaktown, Steph Curry, finally. Now, seriously, here's the thing. He honestly has put up solid numbers for the last bunch of seasons. He set a bunch of new records. And he's kind of been getting overlooked because it's the Warriors, it's the team. It's not him. And this year, they lost a couple guys. Clay's out, of course.
Clay's out all year.
It's like Katie's moved on to Brooklyn.
Could be that.
It's like Katie's moved on to Brooklyn. You know, he's probably going to be the focus, and I think this is probably the year when he gets his second MVP, and it's probably going to be an earned MVP because he's going to have to carry everybody.
Yeah. That Warriors team is going to be interesting with Russell. They drafted Jordan Poole and Curry, 3 sharpshooters there. Gary, on who is your NBA MVP?
I have Kawhi Leonard. I agree with Casey that the Clippers and him and Paul George will tear the season up. And
So
yeah.
I agree. I think the new Clipper, Kawhi Leonard, is poised for a career year in LA. He's finally in the big time. We are going to see an amazing battle in Los Angeles between those two teams. But I think with Rivers coaching George and Kawhi Leonard, I think Kawhi Leonard will win the Kia MVP. Let's move on to the Rookie of the Year. Which youngster will take it home this year, Casey?
You know, everybody's saying Zion is overrated, and he is out for about 3 weeks in the start of the season. However, the man is insane. He is built like a football player, a bowling ball, a train. He is insane, and I truly
All in
think,
one? A train?
all in one. I really think that Zion
Wow.
will win the MVP. Not the MVP. The Rookie of the Year, the MVP in the future. He could win the Rookie of the Year if he played in the NFL. The guy is so athletic. I truly think Zion Williamson will be Rookie of the Year by far, hands down, and lead his Pelicans to like a 7 seed in the playoffs.
Okay. Gary, on who you got?
yeah, I agree with Casey that Zion will be the Rookie of the Year, and yeah.
So we got
Hopefully.
Zion in this half of the room. Let's move over here. CJ.
From Murray State, Grizzlies pickup. John Morant! Seriously, here's the thing. I'm just saying, Zion is overrated. I don't care that he was at Duke, and Duke's the big school. Everyone knows Duke's the big school. But seriously, it's like, that Duke team was good, but it was a team. Zion was just one of the guys. He wasn't the guy. He guys backing him. Zion had off days. They had to carry the load. So I don't know why everyone's like, it's Zion. It's like, what's his name with the, 2% body fat? Who's that football player again? I don't
DK.
Yeah, DK Metcalf, 2% body fat is Zion's overratedness. Literally. In one. Anyway.
So we have Morant here. Lev, how about you?
I gotta agree with CJ. I mean, I'm not going to be completely with you because I don't think Zion is really as overrated as you thought he was. I just think Morant is the better shooter, and Zion, he's more of the big guy up front. And he kind of is a bit overrated in the fact that the Duke part, and I don't know. I mean, I love the new Pelicans look. I love what they have together, but I don't know. I think John Morant's gonna do well this year.
Either a rubber match there, Karen.
I'm going to go with this side of the room and John Morant. I think he's a sharp shooter, and he's going to be scoring most of the points on that team. Zion's going to have to share the ball more than Morant. Morant is the heart and soul and the only star of that Grizzly team. I think he's going to have his whole team on his back. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year. They need a few more pieces to come to a playoff berth, but I think John Morant will take home the MVP awards.
The Rookie of the
Rookie of the Year. Okay,
That'd be a
let's
bit
speed
much.
this up a tiny bit. Let's go Defensive Player of the Year, CJ.
Montrezl Harrell.
Last year's 6th man.
He is just good. I've been watching a bunch of people have been starting to simulate the NBA season, just to kind of get a gauge for the awards, and everyone seems to have Montrezl. He's either in the running or at the top for most DPOYs. The guy's just going to be really good, and on the new scheme that Rivers is running, he's going to be one of the core defense guys. Just honestly, it's a good setup for him right now.
Casey?
I love that pick, CJ, except I'm going to go with Andre Drummond, Mr. Rebound. Over in Motor City in Detroit, I think he'll just be insane with his blocks, and he'll be all over the boards, and he's going to have a really good year, I think.
But
You
think Drummond over Griffin for DPOY?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Griffin's going to get hurt early.
Okay,
Wow.
I see you.
I mean, it's Blake Griffin.
Okay, yeah. Very injury-prone. Lev, let's go with you.
Draymond Green, because he's Draymond Green. And Draymond Green, he's great at defense. He's already won DPOY. And I think he can continue the play that he's been doing over the past few years on this, as you said, like brand new Warriors team. And he's going to have to become a leader on defense. So I think he's going to pick it up. And
Gary, how about you?
Yeah, I would agree with Lev here on this one. Yeah, Draymond has to be a leader on the team because there's a couple of new guys. And yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Paul George. He's on the Clippers. He came in third in the Defensive Player of the Year votings last year. I think this is gonna be his year. I do like CJ's pick of Montrezl Harrell. That team is gonna be a beast on defense with Harrell, Patty Bev, Kawhi, and George. I would not want to be an offense going up against them. Okay, last pick. It's the leaders of these teams. Coach of the Year, Gary.
I have the Clippers coach, Doc Rivers, because I think the Clippers will be a great team and think they'll win the division. And, yeah.
Casey.
I completely agree. I think Doc Rivers, I think the Clippers are going to have the best regular season record. However, you'll see later when I say this, I don't think they're going to win at all. But in the regular season, Doc Rivers will be the best coach.
Well, as I always hear on Golic and Wingo in the morning, Doc Clippers? Doc Clippers? Of course it's Doc Rivers. Oh, no, I'm going to say this. Is it Doc Rivers who deserves the Coach of the Year award, or is it the front office of the Clippers for getting everyone to
Steve
go?
Ballmer.
Yeah, it's like if there's a GM of the Year, Ballmer should definitely be winning that.
Lev.
Kieran, it's going to be up to you to make this unanimous because I'm going with Doc Rivers too. I mean, they're just so good, and I think I disagree with you, Casey. They're going to win the finals.
Okay, finals prediction up next, but I'm going to go with Doc Rivers as well. It's hard to gel a team when you get two new superstars, and I think that's what Rivers is going to do. Now it's what you all have been waiting for, NBA Finals predictions, Casey Hornbeak.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden State Warriors are going to win the NBA championship. Yes, they are going to win. They are going to be either the 3 seed or 4 seed coming into the playoffs. However, the Lakers will choke, guaranteed. And in the conference finals, the Warriors will beat the Clippers and go and play the Celtics, a little bit of a surprise team from the East. They're going to beat the Celtics and win the championship. D'Angelo Russell is the real deal. Steph Curry is going to lead this team. Draymond Green on defense. I really think this Warriors team is an underrated, surprising team this year. This is the year. Again.
I'm going to go with most people's brackets currently. I'm going to do Clippers over Bucks. Just because the Bucks, Giannis is definitely going to lead them. I think they already have what it takes to make the playoffs. They know how to play in the playoffs. They know how to get to big games. And you saw them lose in the Western Conference Final last year. I think they will win in the Western Conference Final, go to the finals, and be stunned by how good the Clippers are because they're so good right now.
CJ.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Everyone knows the Clippers are going to win the West. It's just you look on paper, they got the best team. Even they've got a decent bench. The Warriors are essentially out of the picture. They're going to have to take 2 years to rebuild. This guy's somehow thinking they're going to make it back with no KD, no Klay Thompson. What are you drinking? What kind of Kool-Aid are you drinking?
We made it without KD in 2015
Yeah.
and D'Angelo Russell substitutes for Klay Thompson.
Right, okay, but we're still missing a power forward in front. Now,
And
Eastern
no bench.
Conference is a little more jumpy because everyone knows it's the East. There's honestly no teams left. Honestly, in my opinion, Philadelphia's going to choke. Do not trust the process, and I'm biased. I'm going to be honest right now up in front and say the Raptors are going to go.
Wow. You think a team without Kawhi. So this team is Lowry and Siakam.
Yep.
Siakam signed to a super max yesterday, 4 years. You think Siakam and Kyle Lowry are going to beat the Bucks and 76ers? And Celtics.
It's definitely possible.
And Nets.
Maybe the question is, what's in your water?
Okay.
Strawberry lemonade. But
Who do
can
you
ask.
have?
I have the Clippers are going to win the West and the NBA Finals and the trophy.
Over who?
Over the 76ers. In the
Wow,
finals.
you think this is the process's year to make it? I agree with Lev's matchup, but not his winner. I think Giannis and Co are going to take home the trophy this year. They're going to win it in 7 games over the Clippers. It's going to be one heck of a series, but I think this is the time if you're a Bucks fan, this is your year, and this is your time to win the finals. Let's move in another direction to football. Let's start with you, Casey, and let's start with the NFL. Who do you have as your surprise player halfway through the year?
You know, I think it's Josh Jacobs. I'm not a Raiders fan at all. I'm actually a Niners fan. But I got to give credit when credit's due. Josh Jacobs, the rookie from Alabama, has been insane this year. He's averaging 4.9 yards per carry, and he's really just leading this Raiders team to some victories that people didn't expect. They beat the Bears in London, and I think this Raiders team could be a little bit dangerous in the future. Josh Jacobs, no one really expected to be that good, and he's done some surprising stuff, so he's my surprise player.
Yeah, this Raiders team is looking good, much better than I expected, and especially the Chargers have looked terrible. They're 2-4 coming into today, and Chiefs losing Mahomes. If the Raiders go on a little run right here, they have a shot at the division, and maybe they have the shot at the playoffs, maybe even the division. But they would have to come up with 2 big wins against the Chiefs. Gary, on who do you have?
I have actually Gardner Minshew. He's been doing
Throw on the
well.
stash.
Throw on the 80s adult film stash? Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because he's just been doing really well lately.
Facts.
Yeah,
That's
Minshew
fair enough.
having a great year coming in for the injured Nick Foles. Lev, who do you have?
I have Kerry Maclaurin, the rookie coming out of Oklahoma. He is just so good. Right now, he's 24 years old. He has 5 touchdowns already, and I think he's the best receiver that the Redskins have, and he's a big future of this team.
CJ, I know you have a lot to say on this one. Who you got?
I got my boy Chris Godwin from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You have him on fantasy.
I have him on fantasy.
He was a killer, but I still beat you. No worries.
Yeah, I
no
know. Yeah, we know. But still, though, he's been putting up super solid numbers. And the thing is, if you read all the reports on him early in the year, it's like solid wide receiver 3, solid wide receiver 3. And then I get him on the team just because it's like, oh, he's there, I'll take him. And then it's like, man, first like 5 weeks, he's putting up like 25 points a game. It's just, it's nice. He's getting good numbers on a team that honestly is not exactly looking the greatest. It's just Tampa Bay every year. What a disappointment. What a disappointment in Florida.
I'm going to go with Darren Waller. I'm also going with the Raiders. So Raiders have 2 surprise players. I'm going to go with Darren Waller. He's the tight end. He still is yet to have a touchdown, but he is averaging over 15 yards a game. He's the most targeted player on that team at this point in the year. Let's go with a player who surprised you, but in a bad way. Lev.
Mike Evans. I want to add on you, CJ. Chris Godwin has been the best receiver on the Bucs. He should not have been. Mike Evans should be better than he has played, but yeah.
Hold on. 1 week, 50 points equals he should be the best receiver?
No,
1 week? Okay.
no, I'm saying from the years before. Yeah, coming
into the year, Mike Evans was supposed to be the number 1 on that team. I was really high on him coming into the year as well. He disappointed me. I picked him up in the 3rd round of fantasy, and he got me 0 points 2 weeks in a row, so I shipped him off. CJ, who you got?
Antonio Brown, which is honestly the so obvious pick. It's kind of unfortunate. Tries to, I'm not even going to say anything because everyone knows it's Antonio Brown, and well, the man's got a list that if we put it in this room, it would go from that door to the back, probably loop around again, go out the door, go out to the parking lot, go down Central. Yeah, we're done here.
Casey, who you got?
I think I would have to take Matt Ryan. His numbers aren't terrible. That's the surprising part. But he just can't buy a win for his whole life.
1-5 and on their way to a loss today.
Yeah, against the Rams.
Worst starting Falcon.
It's just terrible for Matt Ryan because he's just not getting wins and he's having trouble in the red zone and his yards are okay, but he just can't find a way to win. So he's been my surprise.
But is that him or is that the defense?
No,
last
but
week
he
it
can't
was
put
on
points
the
up. That's the
kicker.
thing.
Last week they lost to the Cardinals because of a missed extra point with 0 on the clock. Gary, and who is your disappointing player?
I have to agree with CJ here. Antonio Brown, yeah, he has a long list of stuff to do, yeah.
I'm going to go with Juju Smith-Schuster. I was so high on him coming into the year. I thought he was going to follow up last year's season with another great season, but it has been not that
The
at
Steelers have
all.
been terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Look at the Steelers. They're awful this year.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that Juju should not be doing well. Juju
He did lose his quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger is out, and Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
Yeah, now he is.
Bush has done fine as quarterback.
There's the little things. Maybe that changes. I don't know.
I mean, but receivers on the Steelers aren't struggling. It's just Juju. So I don't know what's happened with Juju this year. He needs to turn something on in the second half.
Hot take. I think it's the social media. Juju's really into this social media. No, he has
Yeah.
like 10 things on the Snapchat before the games. There's like
Last
5 things on
game,
Instagram.
He plays
Juju-
Fortnite like
Yeah, it's
insane.
like,
Juju
bro,
was talking
chill
about
with it.
Fortnite on the sideline last game while losing to the Bengals.
Yeah, like I like the guy a lot, but I think he just needs to focus a bit more on his team more than like his.
Okay, let's move to one level lower with college football. Who do we have in the CFB final, CJ?
College football, I've got Alabama, and they're going to be taking on Ohio State, and they're going to beat Ohio State.
So
And
you
the
have
SEC
Bama again.
Yes, and here's the kicker. And the SEC will rightly rule college football as they should.
Darian.
I agree with Ohio State, but I don't agree with Alabama. I think Clemson will beat Alabama, and Alabama will be the
Overrated! Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
third seed, and Ohio State will be second team, and Clemson will be first. So yeah, and
What?
yeah.
I agree with Gary on Clemson, but I'm gonna have to go. They're gonna face LSU. I think they're so good this year, and yeah.
Yeah,
That's all I-
Joe Burrow looking for a Heisman Trophy. He's having himself one heck of a year, especially the game against Texas. Casey, you're a huge college football fan. This is your time to shine. Who you got?
Well, CJ, before we start, I like to say Alabama's going to lose to LSU in a couple weeks.
Right.
So,
right. The Bayou Bengals are going to lose to the Crimson Tide. Right.
It's happening this year. Joe Burrow's the real deal. However,
okay.
I don't have them winning at all. I have LSU playing Oklahoma, my team, Boomer Sooner, in the finals, and Oklahoma wins. OU is the real deal. They're finally going to get over the loss in the first round of the semifinals, and they're winning it all this year. Jalen Hurd is different than Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. He's 10 times more determined, and he cares so much about this OU team. I guarantee it. This Oklahoma team is different than last year. The defense is even better. I really think this OU team's winning it all this year.
So you have them over LSU?
Yes,
You
sir.
got a score?
I think the defense could hold LSU to 21 points, and our offense could put up 49 at max minimum.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so hot take, 49-21,
No,
Oklahoma
They-
over
They
LSU.
have been putting up over 35 points a game. Their offense has been electric. I agree with his winner. I'm going to take Oklahoma over Ohio State, though. I have Ohio State beating Clemson in the college football playoff. Oklahoma will beat Alabama and go on to win over Ohio State in the college football final. Okay, real quick, let's go with some coaches on the hot seat. Lev.
I'm gonna go with Florida State Taggart. I think he's overpaid and his team is not winning any games. So
Gary on.
I have Jeremy Pruitt of Tennessee. He's been doing coaching his team really well, and yeah.
Okay, CJ.
I got Jim Harbaugh. Everyone loves Harbaugh out here. I mean, did turn Stanford around, but he hasn't beaten any of his rivals.
Michigan lost to Wisconsin.
Lost to Wisconsin.
Which pretty much took him out of
who lost to Illinois?
Who lost to Illinois, but they also haven't beat Penn State. They haven't beat Michigan State. They haven't beat Ohio State. And as any Michigan fan will tell you, you don't beat Ohio State, your job is on the line every year.
Okay, Casey.
Speaking of Stanford, I think David Shaw's on the hot seat. I love the guy, but I just think not hiring an offensive coordinator isn't really working right now. And losing to UCLA is not acceptable, especially.
Tough game on Thursday. You were there, right?
I was not. I had football practice, but I think David Shaw. I think they could hire him as an offensive coordinator almost. As the head coach and hire an offensive coordinator. They just need to fix the offensive issues
Yeah,
a little
something
bit.
needs to change
But, yeah.
there. Even the mindset of that team, I think he's really bringing them down. I'm going to go with Paul Chris. You all know him. He's the Wisconsin coach. Every year, it's somehow their year. They're in the running halfway through, 3/4 of the way through, and then they lose to a random opponent. This year, it was Illinois on a last-second field goal. It was homecoming week in Illinois, and they kick a game winner with zeros on the clock. So Paul Chris is going to have to do something to keep his job. Show's wrapping up. Let's go real quick. 30 seconds. Whatever you want to say about whatever topic in sports you want. Lev, real quick. Let's go.
all right, hockey Sharks. So basically, They started off horribly. They went 0-4. They picked up the pace a bit. They won 3 games. They did lose last night to the Sabres, which I am a Sabres fan, but I think Rasmus Ristolainen laid down on the puck, and it should have been a penalty. So I'm very mad about that. I think that the Sharks should be 4-4, but I still think they need to pick it up a bit. But once they pick it up and they get into the rhythm, we can start actually not being last.
Gary, and how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go the Niners. They've been a really hot start, 6-0. But they just played the Redskins and they won by 9 points. That's not very good, but yeah.
So Niners have looked great. I agree. KC.
Yep. I personally think that on Friday night, Sacred Heart played MA and they got robbed. Menlo Atherton played a great game and they're surrounded by much talent. However, the Sacred Heart Prep Gators, they played really well and they had an onside kick at the end. They got the onside kick and it went down to the wire. Go check that game out. The game comes out Monday on the Midpen Media Center YouTube channel. You can go watch that game. It was an insane game.
And Lev, actually, we were on the call in that one. What a game.
Cool.
I have to say, Moy had himself a night. CJ, we know you like the weird and wacky sports. Who you got?
I'm keeping it a little bit more central. I was going to go with something skating related, but I'm like,
Skating related.
I think I tournament in Canada, but I'm throwing that out the window and I'm actually saying Australia right now. Their domestic baseball league has kicked off, and I've got a couple of buddies of mine who
Kicked off?
Of course, kicked off. Aussie rules at 6. Anyway, and so I'd like to give a shout out to them, the Garden Grove Central District Dodgers in Division 1 of the South Australian League. Shout out to my boys Shotzi and Connery. So hopefully, I've checked so far they're 0-2, but they've already played 2 games. So
Hey, they'll bounce back.
exactly,
They will bounce back. Of course they will. But when your namesake's the Dodgers, you never know. Maybe you'll just choke it away in the postseason.
You're right.
Thank you for watching. This has been MC Sports Presents. Thank you, everyone, for a great show. For Gary and Casey, Lev, and CJ, I've been Kiran Costa. Thank you for watching.